Welcome to Lost in the Lakes, and tonight we might be camping or we might be stopping in a bothy. It's a bit windy. Right, so we're on the Cumbrian Way just up from Mungrisdale. This is the Cumbrian Way where we're hitting here. I've parked down the road there, and Lingy Hut, a bothy up there. We're going to go to it. I don't think we're going to camp there. I've got a tent and everything, so I'm fine. I imagine there might be some people doing the Cumbrian Way wanting to rest their weary heads in a hut rather than in a tent. So anyway, we'll go up and have a look. If there's anyone there, we'll be courteous and yeah, pitch a tent instead. This, you can tell this is an old mine path, still paved, so yeah, nice easy walk. And then I think it gets a bit steep at the end, and then when we're on the top, it's quite undulating. I think if it's anything like where we at, bow scale, top of there, that's quite a sort of steep sided, undulating, on top type fell. We're at the back of Blencathra here. You can't quite see it, it's not in the cloud. I'm sorry, we're not going to have the same sort of stuff as we had last week. That was just, I mean, you could say it was magical, couldn't you? But I've always wanted to come up here. I've looked at it on maps, and yeah, I've been down from Skidder House down here on the road many moons ago, but I've never actually walked up here, and I've never been to Lingy Hut. Looking on maps, you can kind of see that it was a fairly easy walk into the fells, but then you hook a right and it gets steep. So I've brought the old sat nav out with me. So we've got half a mile of this, I think, until we get on the fell properly. There's a lot of this stuff around, quartz. I'm not sure what these mines were for, but I would say maybe for quartz, not sure. Obviously quartz is used in watches and stuff like that. Again, not really knowing what, not very informative, am I? We're going to go up to Great Lingy Fell, or Great Lingy Hill, and just along the way there's a new mountain, Cumbria's newest mountain. So that was basically the mountain. If I look on my map in there, it shows the height of this hill as 1998 feet. Now, to be classed as a mountain, it should be over 2,000 feet. But in 2018, sorry, so only 7 years ago, they rejigged their height, and it's just over, so it's 2,001 foot now. So it's not that it's got higher, it's just the accuracy on the measuring has got a lot better. So now it's classed as 2,001 foot. So it is now a mountain. Miller Moss, the newest mountain in the Lake District. Okay, so we've got some mine workings over here. I think we go up this way. There's a path off there. But we'll go over to here, just have a look, see what this mine working's about. This will tell us all, won't it? Most remarkable mining is taken at Carrock, which is this fell here. This is Carrock Fell. So there's something going on here where it looks like it's been cut out. Let me see. Here, up there. Right, let's have a look what we've got. Deep underground miners extract lead, arsenic and tungsten. Overground, the ores were crushed and washed and to extract the vulnerable minerals in here. And it wouldn't surprise me if that did damage further down the way back in the day. Here's the remains of a World War I tungsten mill, which is just up there. So I think if we go up here, we'll be able to see that mill over there. You are here, I am there. So yeah, this is Grainsgill Beck. We've missed all these mills. Okay, so this path, this sort of terrace path here, would have been where all the mills were. Sort of on between maybe this level in here. Emerson's lead mining. So that's back the way as well. Okay, so there's a little bit here. Should maybe have a little wander. We haven't got too much time on this one, but I think we'll be able to definitely have a little scoot round the corner. Here's some miners next to timbers inside Carrock mine. I believe the mine's up there somewhere. But we'll have a little look around. So this sort of terrace path here, little train tracks. Again, part of the mine. So I think this is where some of the building work would have gone on. So you've got this sort of cut out of the hill here. Now whether this was just a fault or a start of the mine, I'm not too sure. There's certainly something going on there all the way up. And then you've got this flat concrete base here, which would have been one of the mills, crushing up that all the minerals. All this scree here, probably some of the mine work as well. Some metal work here. Again, it looks like something off a vehicle maybe. It's a bit thin, that, for sort of industrial mining stuff. It could have been, I don't know, maybe a grinding tool, you know, like a shield for a grinding tool or something like that. Got a group of 3 behind us. So we're going to carry on up. Here's some, looks like that's been placed there for a reason. I wish you knew a bit more about mining. They've got a pipe under here as well, going to that mine there. So, right, we're going to carry on walking up here and still see this World War I mine. There's quite a bit to that mine actually, to the mill. And you've got the stonework on the base there. And higher up you've got some sort of concrete. I think that was maybe something to do with... Right, back to the fells. Still got a little bit of workings here. There's something just back here. All this crushed up quartz is everywhere. And I think this is a filled in mine here. Definitely one here. Further up there's a fence round one, so I imagine that'll be a shaft. We've got something here as well. I'm not entirely sure what that was for. Okay, the path has now considerably narrowed, just as we're coming off from that bit there. So we're back onto proper fell path. So I imagine this is where all the mining kind of stopped. You know, there doesn't seem to be much more, so we're going to follow this path up Grainsgill, on the side of Grainsgill here. Sat nav has just beeped. Let's just check, see if we're still on target. Let's zoom in. Okay, we have missed a path. We should be going, or we should be climbing. Let's just see what happens if we follow this other path. It takes us into Grainsgill. Right, let's go back and see where this path is. I'm following this just because I'm not familiar enough with this area. Okay, it says there's a path off to the left going up. Looking up there, it looks like I can see it as well, to be honest. So we'll go back along here and see where we've missed it. This is where I've got to look at the map and decide whether I want to take that route or go up Grains up onto the Cumbrian Way. This is the path here by the looks of it. Okay, let's go straight up here. It looks well worn enough. It's wide and steppy here. I think that's just because of the rocks. but it looks well worn enough for to be the track I need to be on. Right, it's all well and good sort of taking, just following your nose, but imagine this being in winter or in dark. It's always best to follow the sat nav that you've previously planned and trust. Now, looking at the map, it was further down there, path goes up by the gill, and it's quite a recognised path by the looks of it. I think this one takes me straight up, and it's slightly easier actually. That one looks like it goes a bit more level and then basically straight up to the hut. So we'll take this one. This should be not easier, but it's definitely a recognised path. This is the way we're going. Okay, it's levelled off a little bit. We came from way down in the valley there. I thought that was 3 people, but it's 2 people and 3 dogs. They're down at the mines now. We're going to carry on up. That hut has it's definitely got views for miles, because you can see that as a speck all the way down this valley when you're coming up. So I wonder if there's a window in the side of it. Usually they don't put windows in the sort of prevailing, which would be probably the side of it by the looks of it, or maybe it's the back side of it, I'm not sure. I think the prevailing would be coming across this way, but today it's actually going towards us, so it's actually blowing towards from here up to the hut there. It's actually levelled off onto a nice path here. So yeah, I would have been down in that gill, which is just down there. So I'm glad I followed the sat nav. To be honest, I think they do come up to the same area. There's a path, or what looks like a path, going up the way there, but it does look a bit boggy. But I can see another path that's almost going directly towards the hut. So we'll see where the sat nav takes us. So last week's inversion seemed to be the whole of the UK, anywhere with mountains. Everyone was getting inversions. It's all over Instagram and Facebook and everything. I got a few out myself. You know, I was one of the lucky ones to be out. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get anything like that today. One, I don't think we're going high enough anyway. But 2, if you look at the cloud and the weather, it's just not inversion weather. Right, there's the sat nav beeping. See what we got. So it's to the left of the gill, and up the side of the gill for now. I'm glad it's not too high. I think we struggle over here. A little bit slippy. Got some sort of workings here. I'm wondering if this is or was water fed in some, you know, you've got a little stream here that almost kind of goes into this area, so I'm wondering if this is an old waterworks that maybe fed the mine. Anyway, so up to the left of this gill here, heat up again. Even though there's a bit of a cold wind, it's still quite warm. Well, we're at mid-October now. We're still got a chilly wind, but still warm enough to not have to have masses of down jackets and what have you. This is fast becoming my favourite, this jacket, the Proton. First one I ever bought, first Arc'teryx jacket I ever bought. I was really sort of dubious about spending the money, but yeah, you can wear this all year round as a insulated underlay, just as a general hoodie, you know, when you're in the tent, or just, yeah, I'm wearing it kind of as a jumper. Considering I was flying up mountains last week, this week I'm feeling pretty tired. I don't think we've got anyone following us now up here. Anyone that was sort of coming behind us didn't look like they were coming up for a night, you know, just some small day packs. And I've only seen 2 people coming off here. Whether or not there will be people up here, I don't know. But we will be coming up to the Cumbrian Way, albeit it's starting to quiet down now. There might still be someone in the bothy. I would imagine in summertime, every weekend that bothy will be full. It only takes about 2 or 3 people as well. We'll soon see when we get up there. Right, it does look like there's a path off up to the left here. I think it's probably so it avoids this little boggy area here. But it's been so dry, yeah it is. Just goes up and round. But it's been fairly dry this week. It's been minimal rain. Yeah, if we turn around now, we can see the whole valley. Yeah, I would imagine when it's wet, this becomes really wet. Had a week of dry. Oh, and it's getting steep now. We've had it too easy for too long. We're parked right down the bottom there. There's a little car park on the left as you're coming up. So we'll be carrying on up here. Starting to come near the top now. So we should see the hut unless there's a false summit. Of course, we're still looking around as we're nearly the height of the back end of Carrock there. Fun fact, there's a fort on the top of there. No one knows why. Leveling off a little bit, but no sign of a hut. I think we've still got 20 minutes of climbing before we actually get to it. Wind's starting to pick up now as well. The way I'm going to have to pitch my tent is going to be looking over that way, so hopefully when we get up here we can see something. There's the back of Bowscale. Helvellyn is, Blencathra is just beyond that. So we'll carry on trudging up here until we can see that hut. Last time I was up here, I was actually on Carrock Fell when I was anywhere close to this place. Yeah, it was a weird one that. Quite spooky in the mist. It's quite a sort of quick thought to go up there. Chose it as a last minute. And yeah, it was a weird one. Yeah, I think up here you can hear the winds because it's quite sort of moorlandish. It's a little bit like the Pennines. You can't see them; they're in cloud there. But this sort of moorland sort of, you know, does remind me of this back end of the northern part of the Lake District. Not quite the most northern, but very northern. It's yeah, quite barrennous. I can see why they put a hut up there. You know, if you're doing the Cumbrian Way, you've still got a bit to go. Yeah, it could feel a bit like you're not getting anywhere. The hill over there, I'm not even sure what that is. I think that could be Lonscale, like the back end of it. You can just see a little hump over the little high sort of hill there. Oh, it could even be Blencathra. Disorientated, that's why I brought the sat nav. Right, here we are. You can see the hut sitting up here by itself. To think it sits up here in all the weather. It must regularly see 100-mile-an-hour winds in winter time. Because I know 2 weeks ago, we saw 3 weeks now, we saw 80-mile-an-hour winds across these tops here. So that hut must have easily seen 80 to 100 plus. And from here, it just looks like a little shed. It'd be actually interesting to see how clean it is. I would imagine this one, I mean, this is the shortest route up to this hut. So being so far out of the way, I would imagine it's probably looked after, kind of respected by the people using it. Right, okay, that lump that I was saying before, it's actually sharp edge on Blencathra, that bit there. And there's Carrock Fell. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if it's been looked after. If there's any rubbish there, in the morning we'll take some down. My aim is not to sleep in the hut. but I want to try and get a little bit further on, a little bit further out of the way, you know, just in case there's any weary walkers in the night that want to come and use it. Where I've just walked 3 miles up here and they've got much further to go than me. You can just see the sun through the clouds there as well. On the camera it looks like we've got beautiful blue skies. So the forecast in the morning is for rain at about 5 o'clock, I think. So hopefully we'll be in the tent still, dry. The wind at the moment isn't really bothering me. Right, we're nearly at the hut. So it has got some guy ropes on the shed holding it. It does look like we could camp around it, but Lingy Hut Mountain Bothy Association. Hello. Here we go. So what have we got in here? Obviously a couple of nice mats. We have got a smoke alarm there as well, and a CO alarm as well. We've got here graffiti, please don't graffiti. What we've got here, we've got this book. Now this is 2025 is wet. So this book is half full already, and attempted nice burritos for dinner, ended up with mince and salsa with no seasoning. One thing I learned to be a bit more experienced blokes was take steaks, cheese, wine. A little drawing of a salsa, maybe who's staying for it. So we got this, are we double glazed or are we single? We're single, but that's a sturdy window. Never use the bothy as a toilet. Yes. What's this trowel for? Never use the vicinity as a toilet. It's a toilet trowel. And we've got a brush, fire blanket, some other stuff. What we got in here? Mountain Association bothy. Some bits and pieces. Some matches. We've got cream of chicken. I think we tinned food, but at least someone's prepared. We've got a bottle there with packet of Sensations. What's the date on these? Yeah, 11/25, so they need eating soon. Someone's left a spoon if anyone wants one. Yeah, with the owner's permission, this bothy is maintained by Mountain Bothy Association. Well looked after, and again, leave no trace, guys. And this is a good show of leave no trace. All right, I'm going to leave now. What I'll do is I'll just lock that so people know that no one's in there. Considering we've come to Lingy Hut, I think we should go to Great Lingy, shouldn't we? Where are we at? Great Lingy Hill. Just enter that. Go, and it'll tell us which way to go. So this way, then take a right. Should be fairly easy, fairly straightforward to get to it. Although so barrenous, there's a fence there. I think that's a sheep pen, and it did actually say on the map that there was one here, and I think this is where we turn left. This is a huge sheep pen. Look at the size of this. Nothing like them little stone walled ones, is it? It's obviously been here for a while and obviously still used. So Great Lingy is like 2,016 feet, and that'll lead us on to Miller Moss the newest mountain in the Lake District. Don't think many people venture up here actually. You've got the Cumbrian Way just down there, which is a big track, and then you've got this little tiny sheep track. I can see why there was discrepancy on the height of these mountains. I mean, I can't make out where the top is. I'm guessing it's just over there. Right, coming up to Great Lingy, 2,021 feet, so just a mountain. Where's that other just a mountain? Miller Moss. I think we're over that way on the left. And I can see why people think that it's maybe a bit lower than it looks. It looks a lot lower than 21 feet lower than this, or 20 feet lower. But there's Colbeck masts. We'll see them tonight if we can get a camp on top of Miller Moss. We are dropping down quite far as well. I looked on the map and you know, there's only 20 feet difference, but to actually get there we've got to drop down quite a distance, possibly 40, 50 feet maybe. In fact, we're going towards this here. This is probably a viewpoint. We'll see where it takes us. Wind's really picking up now, and I've got my Hilleberg N on. So that'll be interesting to see what it's like. Certainly not going to wet out, but the trouble is with the N-on, if you get one peg out on the ends, that's it, folds in, and then it just becomes a big sail. So hopefully on the windy side, what we'll probably do is I'll double peg the guy. Okay, the sat-nav's just beeped, so we must be fairly close to 1995, which is what that calls it. Here we are. It's got its own cairn now. Is that because it's been classified as a hill, as a mountain? There we are. Miller Moss, the newest mountain in the Lake District. There we are, Miller Moss. And looking at the back, so I think I'm going to venture down this way a little bit to see if there's anything out of the wind that we can pitch on. There's a bit rocky on the top here. Trouble is with these fells being so round, the wind just finds its way. Yeah, it's getting a little bit off there, so we'll go back up here. What I'm dubious about is the wind's supposed to pick up a bit more than this, and I'm in the N-on. If I was in the Solo, which I really nearly bought, I would have pitched right here. Right, we're going to follow this path down. Just want to see if I can get down into this gill. Might be camping by the hut, or even in the hut. See how it goes. So this is why it's called moss. This is quite a boggy path. So we're going to try not to stray away too much from this path. And I'm glad it's dry. Okay, I think what I'll do is find a spot which is closer to the hut. So if we do come a cropper in the middle of the night, we can easily vacate back to it. So it's a good test for the tent, and we've got a backup plan. And like I say, following footpaths when you're going through grassy, boggy areas like this is the best way, because even though you might think it's better going off the path, it's usually tried and tested through many years of people walking it. Very peaty here, it's a peat bog. So I'm glad it has been dry for the last few days. This could be a place actually. If this place isn't boggy, this might be a good place to camp. So there's the peat bog there, giveaway. That there looks like potential, but look here. We've got So if I camped down here and it started raining a lot through the night, potentially we could get water coming up into that. So albeit it looks good, you know, out the wind over there, I think if we tried to camp here, it'd be too mossy, too boggy. So purposely not looking at the sat nav at this point. I don't need it right this minute. We've still got plenty of light to mess around, even though it is starting to get sunset. I know that the Cumbria Way goes across this way, so it's a good decent path, and the wind is actually dropping. The trouble is this path is going diagonal, kind of away from where I want to be at the minute. I really want to be over in that direction. Again, tempting to go here, but again, the grass is just way too long. So we're gonna look at this bit of a footpath here now. There's Carrock Fell, so we know we're on the right direction. Won't surprise me if we come right up on the hut as well. Tempting to go that way, but there is a path off to the left there. I think what we'll do is we'll carry on this way, knowing that the hut, right, we'll see how close we get on this hut, eh? I'm thinking we're going to be almost up onto it, if not a bit to the right. Just to the left there, you can see the hut poking through the clouds poking down the side. So we now know we're close to the hut. So what we want to do now is probably want to get out of this long grass here near the footpath and find a pitch that's close to the hut, but you know, if anyone wants to stop in it, they're more than welcome. Nice little piece here actually. You can't see the hut, you can see the footpath. This bit here, not quite level, but I think if we pitch it going across this way, I think we'll be all right. So lengthways this way. I'm looking at the camera now and it's into the wind. You can see the hut about 150 metres away. Footpath is right there. So we know if anything happens, we can go down to that footpath. So basically all we need to do is go down and right. Right, Hilleberg Enan in potentially windy conditions. I forgot which way the door was on this. It's actually there, so we've done good. Right, let's get this tightened up. So we've double pegged every guy rope, every rope we can. Right, it's starting to get a bit chilly, a bit cold. Must remember we have got that hut down there as a back. This Enan is feeling pretty pokey compared to the Solo. The wind's really sort of pushing down on it. Got a waterproof there. Got my drone. I don't think I'll be using that today. I think it's going to be a bit windy. Hopefully tomorrow it calms down a bit. Got my cook set there. Waterproof pants. There's my gloves and my hat. I think we'll probably use them for the morning. All my electronics there, including my light. Here's some food for tonight. Chicken and Parmesan basil. Got my seat, which I've just realised I can't use. The reason why is, oh, there's my rest of my cooking utensils and things. The reason why is because I've got the Tenza Extreme. So I've got this for winter time, and it's just a little bit of a wider mat, which I'll probably need at the moment because it's, you know, this thing's pulling down. So yeah, too wide for my seat. So I'm gonna have to be. Oh, I'm gonna have to lie down. In here I've got my sleeping bag and all my sleeping stuff, water, got my spoon, pillow, and that's it. I'll put the water back in there, probably live out of the sack, keep most of my stuff in there that I need for external, just in case I need to pack away quite quickly if this wind gets really bad, and then we can go down to the hut. Oh, there we go. Right, might have to pull in these guy ropes on this side actually. I think it's pulling in quite a bit. Right, before it gets too dark, I'm going to have a quick nip around these guy lines and just make sure everything is tight. That's tight. It's nice and tight. That is already quite tight. I think we can maybe get this just a little bit. Right, so yeah, you can see it pushing on the tent there. That's the, not quite the inner, but it should be all right. Considering this is a 3-season tent, I think we're going to be pretty sound inside. Oh! We're back to the Jetball Stash stove, because basically it doesn't fit my the MSR pocket rocket doesn't fit like that does. So we're back with this. See what we got here. Namby, so we're going to fill it up to there. Right, so we're using this no normal coffee, basically a tube of coffee. It's supposed to be about 5 coffees in this. No, so it's 5 grams per. There's 20 coffees in this. 5 grams is about a teaspoon, which looks pretty disgusting. But look at that, look how convenient. If this works out really well, look how convenient that is. Dark roast. Look how horrible that looks. Try this coffee, eh? Smells like coffee. It's boiling hot, but it's actually quite nice. Nicely balanced in there. I couldn't find a flat place to put it, so I've chucked it in there. This chicken parmesan and basil risotto. Smells nice. Chicken actually tastes like chicken. You can taste the parmesan as well. And that is, yeah, this is one I shied from actually. I usually go for chili con carne and stuff like that, but no, this one's really nice. And for the 1,000 calories that it gives, this is probably one of the best. Love it. Right, I'm going to have this, going to have my coffee, and I'm going to go to bed, and I'll see you in the morning. Bit windy.
quite hard to sleep in this wind. Hopefully the tent will get through the night. Should be alright. It's a Hilleberg.